It's a new year. You got plans and I got plans. Da 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 da. What's that Chris Brown song? Anyway, it's a new year and we have things that we want to accomplish. But sometimes as the year progresses, we get into the humdrum of things, and if we don't write it down, we totally forget the things that we wanted to do. And that's where vision boarding comes in. Happy 2023. Welcome back, or welcome if you're new here. If we don't know each other yet, my name is Christy, and I on my channel really prioritize thinking about ways to be able to live the life of my dreams and share what I've been doing with you guys as well for the beginning of this year, because we're all about just really trying to plan and be focused. This is the first in a series of how to be on track for 2023 so that we can really make this a great year and we can accomplish the things that we want to accomplish. It's always super exciting, at least for me, to get into a new year, but then as we get there, sometimes we're like,
all right, now what? What am I supposed to do?
As this being the first video in this new series, we're talking all about vision boarding, why it's important, and then how to do it. But first, I need you to hit that subscribe button so we can have a great 2023 together. Go ahead, I'll wait. So let's get into the video. Maybe you're making your first vision board and you're like, why do I need to do this? Like, why is this even important? Well, it serves two big functions. First, it's giving us clarity about where we want to go. Now, what does that mean? As I was saying earlier, we start out the year super excited about all of the things that we want to do and the things that we want to see happen, but then it's really easy to lose sight of that vision as we're just going through the motions. We get up every day, we're going to work, we're doing the things, we have people that we're interacting with, and we have things that need to get done, and some of those big dreams or desires of our hearts really get lost. And so if we don't have a plan for that, or if we don't even have an idea to see what that looks like, then we can't really go in the direction of the dreams that we want to accomplish. There's so much power in being able to see it, being able to remind yourself, being able to constantly have that be something that your mind is focusing on. Especially if you have it in a place where you're seeing it every single day, then you've written it down, you've actually verbalized what you want your dreams to be or the things that you want to accomplish, and then you're constantly allowing yourself to see that thing. The other part of that is that the things that we're constantly absorbing and the things that we are constantly thinking about, our lives do start to line up with what that looks like. If we're filling up our mind with good things and things that are positive and things that are beneficial, things that are good for us and that are going to promote us toward the future that we want, then those are the ways that our life starts to line up. However, if we're filling our minds up with negative things and all we're seeing or hearing is the negative, then that's what we become. I think we see that very easily in those tangible things. Like, we know that if we eat crap all the time, then our bodies are going to feel like crap. Oh my goodness. After last week of the holidays, my body said,
girl, we can't do this anymore. We're done. Let's get back on track.
We see that and are comfortable with that in the physical, but so often we don't attach that to the mental aspect, our spiritual aspect of ourselves, and it is so much more true for that side of ourselves too. The other reason why to make a vision board is that it is a great reminder for us when things get hard. We're going to just go through life. We're going to have some moments in life, or even moments throughout the year, where it feels like, oh, I'm so off track, or this thing happened and I don't know how to get back to this place that I want to be. And it's nice to have a reminder of, I might be in this situation right now, but this is where I want to go. I might be having this difficulty right now, but this is where I am trying to get to. This is my dream. This is my vision. So often we're so scared to dream and to really put those dreams out there. It always comes down to fear of, what if that thing doesn't happen? But what if it does? Good things are not just going to fall on us without us doing anything. And we have to do our part to move our lives in the direction that we want it to go. All right. Now we know why to make a vision board. You're like,
Okay, Christy, I'm on board with that. Let's do it.
but now the next question is, well, how do I do it? Maybe you made a vision board in the past and you were like, it wasn't that great. I really didn't see anything happen. I didn't know what to do with it. Or maybe you've never made a vision board before and you're like, I want to do it and I want to know how to do it. And I have a few tips for how to be able to do that. The first one is decide what you want to do. I have my notebook that I have with me for everything. I love to write things down. Maybe you're someone who likes to type things. Either way is totally fine. But I wrote down all of the things that I wanted to do. So some of these are things that are really big and that I know may or may not happen this year, but they're those big goals. And then some of them are just goals that I feel like I can easily check off, that by the end of the year I can say,
Wow, I really accomplished that.
and so that was where I started, was just determining what are all of the things that I want to see happen in my life, or what are the things that I want to work on, that I want to improve. What are some dreams that I want to check off the list? What are some ways that I want to feel? What are some things that I want to do for myself? What are some things that I want to do for the people around me? Just in all sorts of different areas. So I wrote those things down. It's the first thing. After writing those things down, the next step is to organize them into categories. So things that are like one another. And so after I organized all of my things into categories, I realized that I came up with actually 5 different buckets. So we talked about my big goals, but then the rest of them were my spiritual goals, my career goals, my health goals, and then any other personal goals. Your buckets might be completely different, or they might be the same, but I would advise you to first determine what are the things that I want to see happen, as many things as makes you happy, and then organize or group them together by categories, and then just name that category by something that defines it. The next step in this process is to get creative. So you have to determine, do you want to do a digital vision board, or do you want to do a physical vision board? If you like digital vision boards, there's lots of software and things to be able to do that. I've seen people who do a Pinterest vision board. There's also, you could do it through Canva. You could put it as easily on PowerPoint, just find different pictures and paste them where you want to go. You have to just determine what you want to use for being able to make that digital vision board. I lean more toward the physical one. I am a pen and paper girly. Like, I live for stationery. I love to see things written down. I love digital stuff as well, but I also have to write it down. And if I don't write it down, it feels like, I don't know. I don't really have a good word for it, but it is an obsession. It's something that I need to do, and it's something that I find great pleasure and great joy out of, is writing things down and seeing them in different colors and cutting, arts and crafts. Love all of it, whether it be digital or physical. Determine what your aesthetic is. Like, do you want to have lots of different colors? Do you want lots of bold prints on there? Do you want lots of pictures, or do you want lots of words? You have to determine what you want that to look like. Because I like having a physical vision board, I got really creative with it. So I went to Michael's, my husband and I, we went to Michael's and we got our arts and crafts. We got a frame that we wanted to put it in, and the frames, when we got them, were super cheap. They were like 2 for $18 or 2 for $22, something like that. But we got the frames that we wanted to put them in so that we can put it somewhere that, one, we can easily see, but it also kind of looks like a work of art for us as we're doing it, and we don't mind looking at it and passing it every single day. Something else I like to do when I am doing my vision board, I like to leave some space for some additional things. There were some things that I added to my vision board, and as the year progressed, they got taken off. But then, because I had a little space, there were things that I was able to add on. So at the beginning of the year, or the end of last year, when we made our vision boards, YouTube actually wasn't on there, and it wasn't something that I was thinking. But when it did become something that I was like, I absolutely need to start a YouTube channel, then it got added to the vision board, and I made space for it. So I would say, leave yourself a little bit of wiggle room, a little bit of space, so that you can adjust or add to your vision board as you see fit throughout the year. The next step in this process is to share it with someone. Now that sounds super scary, and you're probably like, well, why? I already wrote it down, so why do I need to share it with someone? 2 really good reasons for sharing. The first big one is accountability. When we just keep it to ourselves, then there really is nobody to hold us accountable. And while we may say we want to hold ourselves accountable, there are lots of times when we give ourselves excuses or outs for not doing a thing that we said we wanted to do. But when we share it with someone, then it gives us someone to be able to ask us how we're progressing toward our vision, how we're progressing toward our dreams. Of course, that needs to be someone that you trust. My husband and I, we individually plan our vision boards, and then we take time to actually be able to talk about the things that we want to accomplish. But if it's not a partner, maybe it's a friend, you definitely just want it to be someone that you trust and someone that you know will ask you about your dreams, ask you how you're doing on the road toward making your dreams a reality. The second reason is really just to get over the fear of it. It's really scary to share our dreams with other people because sometimes we're afraid that other people are not going to be supportive of those dreams. We're afraid that they sound silly or whatnot. And so we don't put those out in the open. We keep those privately. But every time we make a step toward overcoming our fear, we break that down just a little bit. So many times when we share our dreams with other people, there are those who are willing to be thought partners with us to help us really think through some of the things that we need to do. There's so much power in being able to share our dreams and share our visions with other people and getting over that fear of vulnerability. And yes, you may want to be very selective, and I think it's wise to be very selective about who you share your dreams with because there are bubble poppers out there who live to burst other people's bubbles because they feel so deflated. And even in the best of situations, sometimes people don't fully understand your dream. While we don't want to surround ourselves with people who will burst our bubbles, and we definitely want to be surrounded by people who will pour into us, even people that give you negative feedback or people who are not as supportive of your dreams sometimes can be that fuel to push you to go even further. And so, in the spirit of sharing, I actually want you to comment below what is one big thing on your vision board or that will be on your vision board for this year, whether it is something that you know that you can accomplish this year or whether it's something that is a big faith step and big faith dream. So this is my vision board for the year. I'm not gonna go into all of the details about it because some of the things are just my thing. But what you'll see is that I like to do a few things when I do vision boarding. For me, I like to have a word of the year. My word last year was intentional, and I was super intentional about literally every area of my life. And having that intentionality as a focus really helped me to make some great gains in areas because that was my focus. Being intentional in my marriage, being intentional in my relationship with God, being intentional in my health and in my career, in all of those different areas, having that focus was always so much at the forefront of my mind that I felt super successful at being able to do that. You'll also notice that I have my big buckets of where I want things to fall in. And so I have spiritual, I have career, I have personal, health, and then my big bucket. Something else that I really wanted to have on my vision board were either some scriptures or some ideas of things that I really wanted to prioritize for this year. And so one of those is, now to him who is able to do exceeding abundantly above all that we could ask or think, according to the power that works in us. Ephesians 3:20. I have dreams that are big, but I believe that God has dreams that are even bigger for me. And I don't want to be limited by only what I can see or only what I can do. I really want God to take my dreams and then make them even bigger and do the bigger things that I can't even understand how I would be able to do them on my own. The other verse that I have is, for I know the plans that I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future. I love that verse and I take it to heart because I've been through a lot of hard things in life, and sometimes it has made me scared to hope or scared to dream. And so I constantly will feed myself with that God has great plans for me. He doesn't have plans to harm me. And so anything that happens in my life, He is always going to be there with me. I can trust His grace. I can trust His promises. I can trust that what He has for me is always, He's going to bring good out of all of the situations, and that I don't have to be afraid to dream big because He loves me and He wants the best for me. Ken and I conceptualized our vision boards very differently. So I would say don't get caught up in thinking that there is a right way to be creative or a right way to do it. Just be creative, have fun with it, and really make sure that it represents who you are and the things that you want to accomplish. Dreams, desires, plans, all of those things can change, but we can't ever get to where we want to be if we don't have a plan in the first place, if we don't even have any idea or direction of where we want it to go. Imagine you got in the car and you wanted to go somewhere, but you didn't know where you wanted to go. You had no map, you had nothing. How are you gonna get there? So we have to start somewhere. Now, a vision board is a start, but that's what it is. It's a start. You then have to go a step further and make goals that support that vision. So in my next video, I'm sharing exactly how to create goals that support that vision and that help to bring that vision to life. Alrighty guys, thanks for hanging out today. I hope you found this helpful. I love you and I'll see you in that next video.